Under the guidance and leadership of the Alabama Space Science Exhibit Commission, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center experienced a year of unparalleled growth during 1998. The Space Center was recognized as Alabama's #1 tourist attraction by the State Department of Tourism and Travel. Michael J. Wigg was named the center's new Chief Executive Officer. Marshall Space Flight Center welcomed a new director, Arthur Stevenson. Corporations continued their support of our many programs. The center hosted many special events and opened several new exhibits. And the center developed plans for laying a solid foundation in the future. In April, 300 VIPs attended the world premiere of the Tom Hanks HBO special, From the Earth to the Moon, which was sponsored by Huntsville's Comcast Cable. 3 new exhibits opened in '98. A full-scale training mock-up of the living and working area for the Russian space station Mir opened with a VIP gala, which included shuttle astronaut and recent Mir resident Norm Thagard. During the summer, approximately 200 meteorites from Mars and beyond landed at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Gathered by the late industrialist James M. DuPont and now owned by the Planetary Studies Foundation, it is one of the world's largest public collections. Other additions to the museum include the U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command exhibit, which emphasizes the role of Army technology in defending American soil. Kids ages 3 to 8 will also find a new adventure in Rocket Park with the addition of a new energy depletion zone called Kids Cosmos. And NASA introduced its newest radical exhibit staffer, affectionately known as RAD-1. This computer-programmed, air-driven robot adds a personal touch in presenting a brief history of Marshall and its goals for the future. The museum also opened a motion-based simulator called Mars Mission, which is just one part of a new Martian wing. The Space Dome Theater premiered several new shows in '98. Alaska, which made its debut during the Christmas season, transports audiences on an amazing journey through the land of Arctic ice. During the summer, audiences enjoyed the newest IMAX space film, Mission to Mir, which details life on the Russian space station. And thanks to a partnership with WAAY Channel 31, audiences were treated to Storm Chasers, which produced the greatest attendance record ever for a seasonal film. Alabama's 1998 Attraction of the Year hosted over 376,000 guests. Over 18,000 trainees attended Space Camp, up almost 2,000 from 1997. Income for the year topped $27 million for a record net income of $1.3 million. The center's membership program now boasts over 2,000 memberships, and '98 saw the successful implementation of a volunteer program. The Center's Space Science Advisory Board gave insight into projects throughout the year. A $2.4 million renovation of the cafeteria was completed, giving guests and campers separate dining areas. This greatly enhances the catering capabilities and broadens the food selection for all our guests. Even space campers give the food a thumbs up. Special events for the year included Intergraph Corporation's IGUG convention. And for the first time, we hosted the annual Marshall Space Flight Center Employees Picnic. The center hosted a wide range of celebrities and public figures, including Bill Nye, the Science Guy, Lost in Space child actor Jack Johnson, Barbara Mandrell, Melanie Griffith, Ron Howard, and Dan Marino all sent their children to space camp. Senator Jeff Sessions and his staff enjoyed a special work day. And several legislative staffers had a fun and informative day while visiting Redstone Arsenal. Astronaut visits included Skylab astronaut Owen Garriott, three-time shuttle astronauts Bob Springer and Mike Mullane, and Apollo 13 astronaut Fred Hayes helped Mercedes host members of the British media. U.S. Space Camp programs enjoyed a year of renewed growth. Over 31,000 students attended the AstroTrek program, up 2,500 students from last year. Aviation Challenge realized its best year ever, with over 4,600 cadets, a 28% increase. The Pilot Co-Pilot program completed its first full year of operation, with 519 attendees. Mach 1 and 2 added 4 new simulators for 98 and planned software upgrades and additional dormitory space for 1999. And Corporate Space Academy continued its operation with several large corporations taking advantage of this team-building experience. The 9th Annual International Space Camp brought together students and educators from 23 countries. They were joined by Teachers of the Year from across the U.S. This program was made possible by NASA, Coca-Cola, and TRW.
Things I've learned this week, it will be entirely different in my classroom.
When companies like NASA come in and provide a place that we can come to find out what it is in us that makes us teachers and learners, then we're able to give something back to our kids.
Space Camp also continued to host groups with disabilities. The SciViz Camp for the blind and visually impaired celebrated its 9th season. The center received a $10,000 scholarship grant from Delta Gamma Sorority to fund this model program. The Deaf and Hard of Hearing Camp celebrated its 11th season. And Space is Special, which hosts children with learning disabilities, enjoyed their 10th season. Boeing continued its commitment to education by sponsoring 30 elementary and high school teachers from around the world to a week at Space Camp. And Rockwell provided 16 teachers with scholarships to attend Space Camp for educators. The media spotlight continued to focus on the Space Center and Space Camp, with continued interest in our future space explorers. We received editorial attention in hundreds of newspapers and magazines, including U.S. News and World Report, Parade Magazine, Fantastic Flyer, the Los Angeles Times, Family Life, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, HBO, and Time Magazine. Marketing strategies for 98 included Space Camp and Aviation Challenge advertising on Nickelodeon, KTVU, Fox TV in San Francisco, and Boys Life magazine. The center also mailed a total of 800,000 program guides during the year. We received visits from national and regional television crews, including NBC's Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Like junior astronaut stuff.
We'll be all right. Don't worry. Oh, man.
The center also participated in many national promotions during the year, including the video release of Lost in Space.
This is Jupiter 2.
The Sally Jesse Raphael Christmas Wish Show, seen in over 200 markets nationwide. And the popular Nickelodeon Kids show, Figure It Out.
Get ready to blast off at U.S. Space Camp.
I'm telling you, Lori Beth and I think that is the all-time coolest prize.
U.S. Space Camp announced a promotional partnership with the newly opened New York eatery called Mars 2112. In addition to selling Space Camp merchandise, Mars 2112 will award 30 Space Camp scholarships annually to deserving inner-city youth. There was reason for excitement at Space Camp Florida and the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame with the opening of the new Apollo wing and the induction of the Apollo astronauts. Many of America's space pioneers were on hand for this momentous occasion. These space heroes also signed limited edition prints by astronaut-turned-artist Alan Bean to help fund the project. Aviation Challenge in California celebrated its first anniversary, and the foundation signed its newest licensing agreement with Turkey for a space camp to be completed in 1999. During 1998, the Foundation and the Space Center said farewell to a longtime friend and supporter, Alan B. Shepard Jr. Recognized for being the first American in space and Apollo moonwalker, Shepard's greatest legacy is his work to inspire young people to become excited about math, science, and education, hoping that in some way they would become a part of the space program of the future. The center continued to receive financial support from its many partners and supporters for scholarships, special projects, and special student and educator programs. Scholarship donations exceeded $400,000 in 1998. NASA gave $70,000 in support of sending the U.S. Teachers of the Year to U.S. Space Camp. Coca-Cola contributed $50,000. And TRW gave $40,000 in support of the International Space Camp program. Loctite gave $88,000 in scholarships for Space Camp Florida. Allied Signal completed a 4-year, $100,000 commitment for the Distance Learning Center. The Endowed Scholarship Program received a boost when the Alabama Bottlers Association established a scholarship in memory of Roberto C. Gozueta, the chairman and CEO of Coca-Cola USA. In support of concepts and feasibility studies for future projects, the National Science Foundation awarded a $100,000 grant. ADECA contributed $51,000, and the Huntsville-Madison County Convention and Visitors Bureau donated $10,000. And the Heidi K. Owett Endowed Scholarship for Children of Southwest Airlines was announced. State Representative Laura Hall worked to establish a technology space camp. The state has designated $90,000 for 2 underrepresented youths and a teacher from each of Alabama's 63 counties to attend. The center staff worked with the IDEA Company to design a master plan for the new millennium.
Well, I think the greatest aspect of the master plan for the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is the ability to take 350 acres and investigate not only the history and where we've been in space, but take us to where we are currently and where we're going in the future. Every good destination and every good guest experience starts with a great story. Y'all have got a truly great American story, and an American story that now is becoming part of the world consciousness of what we're doing in space. And we've designed the museum component to actually take us all the way from the legacy and the beginning of space travel, all the way into the future to deep space and beyond.
Feasibility studies will be completed in early 1999 to determine the support and value for such elements as a new camp complex, a new preview center, Starfleet Academy, Aviation Museum, and a Spatial Technology Center. The center will also take part in the 30th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing.
The 1998 fiscal year was a great year. The job that Ralph Gibson did as interim director, combined with the efforts of the executive management team, produced the best year that the U.S. Space and Rocket Center has ever had. What a great foundation upon which to build. It's exciting to contemplate the ideas about the master plan. You heard from Hugh Darley what innovative ideas and concepts upon which to build. That being augmented with the feasibility study that's presently underway will give us guidance and direction on which way to go and what particular items we should pursue. The naming of Art Stevenson as a new director of the Marshall Space Flight Center is exciting. Look forward to working with Art, combined with the efforts and the ongoing relationship that we have with the people at Redstone, General Gibson and Colonel Broderick. Greatly value that relationship. My vision going forward is build on these great successes and relationships that we've been so fortunate to have. U.S. Space and Rocket Center has the great blessing of being in a great community, having great employees, excellent people that have served exemplary in the position of directors of the various areas. It's an exciting time, great time, and look forward to continuing to work with you and want to thank you, each and every one of you, in your own way in which you've helped us at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center as we work together in going into the new millennium.